Well, first of all, the AI report I recommend to everyone. And I was telling Eric that one of the points in the report that I think really helps people to understand the nature of the threat we face is the extent to which, we have to be engaged now in an effort to make sure, for example, that the Chinese don't launch nuclear weapons without a human decision in the process. Just think about that for a second. So on China, I think that both parties got China wrong for about 20 years. And we thought, both Republicans and Democrats, that if we help the Chinese government to have access to our markets and we help to encourage their opening economically and we help them become part of the WTO, that political openness would follow. And instead, what happened was simultaneous to their openness economically, the technology became available to conduct what really is a massive surveillance state. And so they didn't have to open up politically. And they had no intention, I don't believe, of ever opening up politically, and certainly not under Xi. And so they've been engaged, in my view, in a very methodical, very effective, very aggressive campaign effort against us for many years across every domain. And we sort of haven't recognized it. I think we're now beginning to recognize the challenge and the threat. And it is one that you can talk about the challenge in space, what the Chinese are doing in space, in cyberspace, what they're doing with our data, the extent to which they have really exploited our openness. And these are two worldviews. The question ultimately is going to be who sets the rules of the road globally. And then this also goes back to America's role in the world, why I think it's so important for America to continue to lead. But if China is able to become so dominant that they set the rules of the road, that's not a world that anybody I can imagine wants to live in. And I think we have to, as a government, recognize the urgency. We have repeatedly, every month, sometimes multiple times a month, briefings at the Armed Services Committee, public briefings from the combatant commanders and the Joint Chiefs. We had the commander of STRATCOM recently in front of the Armed Services Committee publicly, and he described the efforts that the Chinese are making to modernize their nuclear forces as breathtaking. So they are pushing ahead, full speed ahead, in many instances where we are not. And it is going to take very difficult decisions, economic decisions, military decisions. And the military piece of this is deterrence. We want to make sure that the Chinese never think that they are so significantly ahead of us that they can threaten us. They need to recognize that our capabilities and our will are there to prevent them from using their military to take action against us.